Just move that out of the way. Right. Afternoon, guys. How's everyone feeling? James, how are you? I think for now. Oh, yeah. Afternoon, Lee. How are you? So what we're trying to do today is just expand on this area. We've got some sculptor mold in, so we're going to put a layer of sculptor mold around here along this edge, and obviously in the middle of these tracks. So after the live last week, I spent a bit of time just reconfiguring this, and with a couple of crossover points like turned up last week, I was able to redistribute this area. So not that you've probably seen it, but I had two long radius slight curved joints, one here and the one over there. They've now been swapped out. A bit awkward to see. Just turn that on it. So yeah, those have been taken out now, and proper straight left and right hand points have been put in. So they've all been redone, rewired. Put an extra one on here now, which will basically effectively take feed off from the left hand side into the scrapyard area. And whilst I've been doing that, I know I put this up for stakes, I think, but I've also now introduced, get this a little bit. So I've also now introduced a crossover from the third lane to the second. That was completed this morning, and have had that tested, and all seems to be doing superb. So I've had an 08 on there, 66, the 43s, the 800, the 66 as well, going through those points, and all seem to be doing absolutely fine. So that's a little bit of an upgrade. I've taken out that crossover point because it wasn't doing anything. So that makes it a little bit more useful, I should say. Moved up a little bit. The camera angle's really pants today. But yeah, so in essence, that's all been rejigged all along down here, and obviously now into what will be the scrapyard. In fact, I'll probably put this down here. I think the overhead one was probably a bit too high. If I just set that there, at least then you get an idea of what I'm going to be doing. Middleton, Junction Central, how are you doing? Robertson, how are you? Andy, Hot Dog Pilot, thanks for coming in. Just wrong one, just catching up with the chat for go on. And yeah, Donegal Dad, how are you doing? Yes, Donegal, that's Mark, isn't it? How are you doing, Mark? Fly Mo's in the house, how are you? Yeah, so a little bit of work done on Sunday, and I had a little bit of downtime Wednesday just to get those crossover points put in place. and obviously at the same time came out with the idea that I could do another crossover point from the second to the third line. From last Sunday, guys, remember me doing a little bit on the old fencing. That's it now in place, so it pretty much matches that one there. So that's done up to where I wanted it to be done. Once I've done the groundwork on this, if I get time, I'll do a little bit of scenery where we'll put some grass and some hedges and stuff in here. Let's see what time allows me. Okay, so put that to there then. So make sure it's not going to interfere on the two trains. I'll bring it down just ever so slightly. Here we go. Good. At least I'm trying to remember names now, Mark. That's the main thing. Torrico 00 Railways, welcome. How are you? Right. So most of you have obviously done this before, but for those who haven't, essentially what we do on here to make this or just like a rough standing or even just moulding hillsides and stuff like that is a product called sculptor mold. Many of you have probably seen it before. Some people use either plaster of Paris and paper or tissue, cardboard and bits of filler and stuff. But for the groundwork, I'm just going to use a little bit of this today. Quite difficult to get hold of in the UK. It seems to go through sporadic times of lots on stock to virtually nil. So it's a bit of a weird one to get hold of. There's only a few stockists that have it. So all I've got today then is just the usual sort of mixing box. I've already put some sculptor mold in there, and it is just basically shredded bits of paper with the, I presume it's plaster of Paris type powder mixed in with it. So all I'm going to do on this end is basically very simple. We just add water, put a little bit in there for a minute, and give it a good old mix in. And what you're looking for, as I've been told, is you're looking for it to be consistency of cottage cheese. Put a bit more in. Ugh. So we'll give that a good mix. This stuff tends to go off relatively quickly, so it's not the sort of product that would mix and then leave in this tray for too long. I'd probably say from doing this, it probably starts curing in a matter of like 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm not going to make too much. So we'll just be basically doing a small portion at a time. Okay, you get the general idea. Looks delicious. Absolutely. Art shops. To be fair, the only one we've got here is, oh god, what's that one we've got? Can't remember what the name of it now, but it's in the middle. It's in the other side of Swindon. And I went in there a few weeks ago, and they had none of this. All they had was plaster of Paris powder. That was it. All the bandage type stuff. That's all they had. They didn't have any of the sculptor mold. I had to get it online, and even then, it came from the States through Amazon. Yeah, Mark, I'm the same, mate. I'm terrible with names. It takes me a while just to get used to everyone's name, sort of thing. I've got a little piece of paper to the left-hand side with people's names on so far that I can relate to. Okay, so we're just going to pull the first bit on then, just to make a start. I'll leave that over here. The good thing with this is I can actually move this around and do various things, so hopefully I won't fall over. There we go. And we don't need to be gentle about this, we just basically pour it in. Looks like we're going to have porridge. There we go. Over there for a minute. Now this is the fun bit now. This is basically getting it all into the right areas. So as you can see, it's a bit gloopy. That's what you're pretty much looking for. It's just a case of pushing out to where you need it to go. Obviously, you can use this for anything really. Mountains, mountains, sidings, anything really where you just need like a sort of roughish landscape. Obviously with this one it's just going to be, because it's a scrapyard area, you need to just level it out just to make it semi sort of level. I'm not looking at the chat at the moment, so I do apologise if I've not answered any questions. Just trying to get this, excuse me, get this into a semi sort of ready-ish state. And because obviously this track's dummy, it's never going to be run on, so it doesn't matter if you get anything on this track at the moment. Trying to mold it into, there we go. And the good thing about it is that even when it's going off, you know, if you catch it in time, sort of thing, if it starts to get a little bit more sort of sticky and starts to solidify, you can always just use a spray bottle and touch it up. And if you add basically just something like this, just a bit of water bottle, just add to it, and then just move your hands over it. You can actually smooth it out a bit if you want to. It's actually quite good stuff to use. Not too worried about those edges at the moment because I'm going to be adding some more. Use the back of my hand just to sort of tease this into here. That's probably a good one if you're in the attic, guys. This time of year, you can always use warm water because this stuff is bloody freezing. Okay. So what I tend to do is I'll let that set or cure off or carry on down here. But as you can see, on here, I've got some worn marks where this has been going through. So as it starts to cure, I'll basically just move this across. And when it does that, it puts in the tracks onto your actual floor sort of thing. So it just adds a little bit of realism to it. I've just put a bit of base primer on there at the moment. Once this is all done, then I'll pick a colour and then I can start doing the actual finish and surface colours to it. Right, well that's setting for a bit before I do the next mixture. Looks like the USB's gone again. Yeah, sorry about that. Looks like the cable got pulled out. A bit like porridge, yeah. Jake from Haunted Halloween, how are you doing? Where are we? James, done destruction. The stuff I use is sculptor mold. You can see that. You can get it from Amazon, eBay, and one of the guys mentioned on here you can get it from some sort of hobby shops and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the one in Swindon doesn't stock it. Yeah, it's sculptor mold, yeah. Finnerton, yeah, by all means. I don't have any problems putting anything on here. It's all a shared sort of YouTube channel. So if you want to sort of promote your own channel, by all means do so. I don't have an issue with that. Right, well already that's starting to cure. So just add in a few more minutes maybe. But rather than roll it in, I'll just press them in. As if it's doing something. Going in a direction. That. And then, let's say we put one into there. And then one going along here. Obviously, we're doing this, make sure it doesn't really stick that much onto this, which is pretty good. But if it does, just give it a bit of a wash down with some water and a brush or a cloth, and it will come off these real quick. So I don't know how clear that's shown. The rest of pulling this out again, getting disconnected. Give me a second. There we go. You should be able to see the outlines of the track on there. Just try and get that again. No, that's fine, Finnerton. I have no issues whatsoever. Yep, James, we have the layouts in the attic, and the access I have is a folding ladder system that's bolted to the attic door, which I had to buy from B&Q. So I had a small access hatch. This is a new build, it's 11 years old. Obviously, it wasn't big enough to try and get some of the bits of wood in and stuff. So I took that out, just extended the hole, and then bought the ready-made kit from B&Q. I think it was around about 70, 90 quid, I think it was. But it bolts straight into the existing frames on your attic and your cross beams that go across. Just give me a second. Just need to stop something. Never do end, but okay. Let's start that again. Hopefully that will. Yep, resume. Okay, let's catch up with some of your chat then, guys. Okay, so I like that. Oh, can't do it this one, can I? Do it on the other one. Give me a sec. There you go, I just pinned it on there for you for a bit. That'll sort it out. So Finnish has a live stream on Saturday at 6 p.m. with a big announcement that me and a friend of mine have been working on for the past year. To me, that we'd like to show you all. Oh, okay. Sounds interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Happy days. Okay. Right, I'm just going to make up the second lot now. So I want to try and get some more of this done before it gets too set. And have a look. The only thing I would say with this is when you're using sculpting oil, guys, is quite dusty. So just be aware that stuff you're using, you will get a little bit of dust powder everywhere, so bear that in mind. Dust as well. So again, just going to mix second batch in now. I was excited and worried at the same time. Oh, that sounds ominous. James getting ready for the Super Bowl, February 11th. Oh yeah. Who's in the finals at the moment? Do we know? What is it I'm creating? So it's basically just the running ground area for the scrap compound. That's what I'm basically putting this all into. So this is basically going to be like a scrapyard. At the moment, it's just going to be like a train scrapyard. Yeah, I'll probably just stick with that, to be fair, because I don't have the room on here to try and add in roads and do industrial sites and stuff like that. So it's going to be a smallish sort of scrapyard, really, for locos. All that mix. I was going to do 2 cameras today, but unfortunately, StreamYard, if you're not a subscriber or paid for the professional version, you can only use 1 camera, which is a bit annoying. But hey, it is what it is. Baltimore, Kansas City, Detroit 49ers. Ah, right, okay. Happy days. Yeah, that's good. I don't need all of it just yet, so just move that back to here. Just excuse my view of my armpit. I just move myself around this, get this stuff laid in. So what's everyone else been up to then? Yeah, I can use 2 cameras, James, but obviously only one, like I said, only one at a time, which was a bit annoying. I was hoping to sort of have a second screen where I could do it from a different angle, but never mind. Use 2 phones. Okay. Will you expand a bit on that, Vinton? Is that through StreamYard or is that through just going straight to YouTube? Yes. Yes, Mickey. Actually, the good thing about this is it's a dead track, so it doesn't matter if it's half covered up. To be perfectly honest, most of the stuff you see is usually pretty much gunked up anyway. You can barely see the tracks. Blend that in. Nice, right. That's that bit done. I've got enough to continue, so I'm going to take a bit more out of this now while I can. You log into StreamYard from both phones and get both cameras working to create a stream and log on to stream on the other phone. Ah, okay. All right, I'll have to play with that. I think I have got a spare one somewhere, so that's probably a good shout. A bit more water on this. The good thing is, if this stuff does start to sort of go hard, sort of thing, cure it off, you just add water to it, and it will just bring it back to that same sort of consistency. You keep stirring it in. You should be able to rejuvenate it before it sort of goes too far. This is the messy bit now. It's going to get this stuff into the tracks. There. It is. Well, I'm just basically covering the track, but pushing down on the trowel just to sort of give it an evenish sort of spread. Oops. And if you really wanted to, I use this whole thing in here. If you really wanted to make it as an access, and I just basically use this old dirt just to create a bit of contact. Okay. And I've got a little bit of a road access here, which is covered up at the moment, so I'll deal something with that later on. Just quickly have a look at something. What's going on here? For some reason. Ow. Yeah, you can do. You can add a bit of watercolor to it if you need to, so it doesn't have to sort of go down as white. There we go. Always the same. As soon as you go live, they start derailing. It must be one of those things they just know instinctively. There we go. Keep an eye on that. Does it again? I'll take it off. Make sure one phone's volume completely off. So should I plug in the headphone socket? That's with the touch to make sure. Okay. Yeah, no worries. I'll have a play around with that, I think, next time. See what I come up with. That's a good tip. Thank you. Right, so doing that again. Right. Same carriage. Okay. I don't know why it does it. It always does it in that particular corner. We had it solved. Just bear with me. We'll try and put this coupler back on. So again, obviously, before this goes off too much, just going to put some tracks on the crane in. Let's go from there. Good. A bit more here. There we go. Happy days. Okay. Spec I had the volume up, came back, so on our leads, yeah, okay. Both comment, indecency brands, for system I can't get this in. Hang on. Yep, there we go. Right, hooked in. Okay. One thing not to do is have trains running while you're trying to do your sculpture mold, because that stuff's starting to set now. I think for a minute I'll just leave them off. Let me just try and finish this. So the last little bit of area then. Try and get this bit done now. Hopefully I'll get it on the actual camera. Just hope this hasn't gone off too quick. Yeah. Looks like I just managed to catch it. Another couple of minutes and this would have been done. So just try and do this last bit on here. Come on. Okay. So what's everyone else been up to? Covering the tree with cellophane clean felt. Don't know. Not too sure on that one. Possibly. I've got a little bit left. I might do a little bit of an experiment. See if the cling film works. So I want to build this out so I can build that up there. So I don't mind it being a little bit stodgy. And use obviously the thinner stuff to use the last of this. And then what I'll probably do is just here, I'll put a little gate system somehow. So I've got the main line obviously here. So probably, actually, I'll probably bring it further back. I'll probably about here, I'll put a gate. Trying to think where the road is. The road comes along here. So it'll go in. So yeah, I'll probably put a gate along there and then fence this bit off. Probably the best. The good thing of this is as it starts to set, you spend enough time on it, you'll be able to get it to what you want. Consistency, roughness, whatever really. And this being the entrance to the road, or a road, I'll try and get this a little bit smoother. There we go. And obviously we can worry about putting in any tracks or anything like that at a later date, because I can always add a bit more. going to work a little bit quicker on this. It does set real quick. It's almost like watching paint dry, I suppose, for you guys, isn't it? So what's going on then? I've all seen the rails disappearing into the grass at the side of the line. Several sizes approaching the station. Oh, good yards, yeah. Yeah, Gordon Ramsay, not. Obviously, you've got my main line here, so I'm trying to protect it with a bit of paper cardboard or whatever it is you've got to hand, really. I think we'll stop there. That seems about right. And just try and smooth it down now, so I know the roadway is going to be pretty much level with these tracks. The good thing is, if you want to, you can actually sand this as well. It's not as good as like polyfiller type stuff, but it is quite amenable to being sanded if you need it to. There we go. Not the best, but gives you an idea. Some little bits here, just see if we can try and get all these tracks done. Oh, that's too hard. Stick like that. Yeah, it's almost like doing a cake, isn't it? And then we'll stop just there. I think we can use that. Yeah, that might be okay. No, maybe not. You just trial and error, really, guys. Just try what you got. Right. All right, here we go. So, starting at these. Okay. Listening to the stuff going down sounds wrong. That's your mind. That is not mine. I shall leave that for you to guess. There we go. Happy days. Cool. Right. So that little bit is out of the way. I can still run this along. So if I do wish to put anything live in here, then I should be able to. Probably the 08 shunter maybe, or even a 66 with a couple of scrap wagons in. Probably be quite good actually, a 66 with a couple of scrap wagons. It will go all the way right to the back end, so I'd probably get what, 1, 2, maybe 4 scrap wagons and a 66 in here. Happy days. Yeah, by all means, guys, if you like to hit the like button at the screen below, it'd be much appreciated for the old YouTube analytics. Right, so all that's basically left me with half a bag left, so that'll get put to use another time. So that's the larger of the 2 bags you get. That's a £3 bag of sculptor mold. You can get the smaller one. I think it's 1.5 or 1 kilogram or £1 one, something like that. It's not cheap. I mean, that will cost me £24. You have to do a bit of shopping around. I've seen them go up as high as £34, which is a bit of a Mickey take, really. But that's just basic overview of. Might as well use that last bit. Let's get just using sculptor mold and what you can do with it, basically, and depending on how much water you put in, depends on how quick this thing will set. So you just got to bear that in mind, guys, because this stuff does set relatively quickly. Cool. Off there. Happy days. So once that's all dry, probably by next week I should be able to get some paint on it if I've got any. If not, I'll just use a standard base layer, and I can add some dirt and stuff to it as and when. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I need to get hold of some scrap containers. I think I'll probably need about 3 or 4 of them. Put the 66 parked up here. Yeah, it should look quite good. Obviously, you've got that road coming in here. So, what's your pen? Just find out where it's. So there's the there and there. So essentially, that's going to be the road coming in. And obviously, they'll just curve around. Bit like maybe something like that. I could, if I stretch this out, put that low load on, and put that old train on. Move that out a little bit. Take off the hooks, but you get the idea. So that can obviously swing out, or it can come in, sort of thing. And that was the idea. So probably around about there to there, there'll be a gate. It'll be a rolling type, so when it opens, it'll come all the way along here. And obviously, just this bit here, then I'll just fence off. I'll just put a little bit of fence in there, some brush and stuff, and then build up these areas again using the same sort of fencing, and just string that all the way along the back. So it should look quite good when it's eventually done. Yeah, it will take a bit. It's not too bad up here temperature wise. So yeah, oh, got a bit of stuff in there. Let's take some of that off. We don't want that on there, do we? There we go. If I was to turn that around, probably going to look something. Let's take those off because we don't need those on there anymore. Never run, it's life, so. Yeah. That's that one. And that one there. That one there. Okay. So now that pretty much sits on there. Quite dandy. Clean film won't stop the reaction. In plaster, I was taking the calcium sulfate and using the water to react to become calcium sulfide dehydrate. Okay, wow. Limit airtight does play a role. Okay, no, that's fine. It's just trial and error, isn't it? At the end of the day, that's the main thing. It's just trial and error. Right, so that is pretty much that done for now. Let it take time for it to go off, harden up. I have got some fencing and stuff I couldn't put in here. I could put it in straight away now if I wanted to, but more issues trying to paint it, so I'll put them in at a later date. That's relatively smooth, so I'm happy with that at the moment. And what I can do if I need to, I can gouge out a bit of that as well. By the time I've put some track cleaner on it, I should be able to get the 66 to come to at least here anyway. And then the wagons will be pushed into the back. So that should look quite good. Okay, Andy, no worries. Thanks for popping in. This is a very, very old one, which I've sort of did a bit of weathering on a couple of years ago. But as you can see, there's nothing in there. I mean, they got the old motor in there. Well, motor gear. Just hold that up. But nothing else exists on it. So hence why I used it as a scrapped asset. But that was one of my little earlier projects, doing a bit of weather into it. I give you 20 minutes. I did have a 37, but it was an old analog version. I think I started off with that sort of 9 years ago, 8 years ago. Can't remember how long I've been on here now. Something like that. And I managed to modify it, got it to put digital lights on it, digital sound, and everything else. And it worked wonderful for a couple of years, and then eventually sort of just gave up the dust, or ghost, should I say. So I passed it on to a friend of mine who wanted a couple of scrap versions, so I gave him that one, but I kept the blue one, just because I knew I was going to be doing a scrapyard at some point. Right, let's get this gunk out of the way, and what I'll do is I'll put up a link if anyone wants to pop in now and have a chat. Okay, so is that going to be too high to go there? Probably. Yeah, we'll see. got a dead tornado. Is it analog, Jake? Is it an old analog one? True, yeah. It's better than losing it to the bin, without doubt. Let's see if I get this back on its merry way. Because that would so well. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's try that. We'll start. $57. Here we go. Yeah, DC. New body and front bogey. That's a shame, isn't it? Talking of which, hopefully, in a future video, I may have shown this to you quite a while ago now, but I had this given to us a while ago to try and repair. So all the running gear on this is decent now. I've managed to get things straightened out. It's all been oiled and everything else. So that seems to be working of sorts. Obviously, it's a tender driven. And I've just managed to get hold of a motor system of the tender, because the one that came with it was basically broken. For whatever reason, the guy obviously had issues in the motor, took it all out, took the ballast out of it, tried to incorporate a newer style inline motorized system, but obviously never managed to finish it. Yeah, it's a 9F. Yeah. So I've ordered the tender bogey system, complete with the motor and everything else. That should be here hopefully Wednesday. I've got the cover of the tender, but he's also put a couple of lead weights in there, and they're solid. I'm just hoping that they don't come down low enough that they sort of foul up the motor. But hopefully, within a couple of weeks, we might be able to get this running. So that'll be quite a nice addition. Let's stick that on there. Okay, let's what are we now? So let me see if I can put that invite up, guys. If anyone wants to join in and have a quick chat online, you're more than welcome to. Link is in the chat for anyone who wishes to. Let's move this out of the way. Bring the wires out. Right, so I think while that's down, we're going to draw an old t-shirt and see if I can add a little bit of floor to the side. Should be able to. Let's see what I've got. It's a bit too light. Let's try these. Marshmallow grass. That's a bit too dark. What have we got here? I don't know if I've got any grass left. Must have somewhere. Let's turn. It's definitely not that one. Let's try. Right, let's try this. Okay. Right. What's going on here? That's some stuff. I always got to do a little bit of grass. So, for some reason, I cannot find the grass applicator. Where has that gone? Everything else in this place always seems to get lost. Hey, I found it. There we go. Right. Aha. We have just the right grass as well. Okay. There we go. So try and get a little bit of grass on there just to match this side while this is all covered up. So I'm going to try and do that now. I leave that there. I suppose I better make sure this thing's got, yeah, it's got a battery in it. Absolute happy days. Right. So I haven't done this for ages, so I'm not too sure how this is going to turn out. Okay, you don't want the grass on the fencing bit, so never an easy way to put this on, is it? It really matter if I get that in there because that's going to be ballasted anyway. Right, I haven't done ballasting for ages, so I haven't ballasted, sorry, grass application, so I have no idea if this is going to even work. Okay, let's try a little bit of this in. I'm just using a mix. What have we got here then? So we've got 2 mil static grass summer mix, and I'm putting in a little bit of dark green grass in there as well. Shouldn't need too much because I'm only doing the one side. Hopefully this will be enough. Make a little bit more, then I'll just put it into a spare pot. Okay, here goes nothing, because I haven't done this for a long, long time. Okay. A little bit more. Getting there, I think. Okay. A bit more on this side, I think. Just take this probe off. All right. Any of the stuff that I don't need, I can just brush back off. Be good. And stick that into a bag. Not the best coverage on that, but to be fair, it doesn't need to be. It's not as if I'm doing a scenic garden or anything. It's just a bit of wasteland. Well, cutting that joins the row line. So if it's a bit rough and ready, then probably better, to be fair. And then what I need to do is just take some of it off the fencing, because I bullsed up and got a little bit of glue on the fencing. Cool. So, not brilliant, but it gives the desired effect, and that's all I'm looking for, to be fair. Then what you could do to just lock that into place a little bit more is you can use a bit of hairspray. Just put a bit of that on. I've got, where is it? Just going to add in some extra bits while I'm here. So that was 2 mil stuff. What was that there? Oh yes. I'm gonna need. Well, we haven't got it. Typical. Right, this will have to do. Okay. So I'm just going to put in some of these. Very fine. The just grass tufts. I'm just going to put a few of those in. Get a bit of PVA. We'll stick a few of these in. And I've got some other bits somewhere else somewhere. I'll just put a couple of these in for now. Try and get that one overhanging. That's it. Bit. And obviously, where I got these, because they're a darker colour, I could put some on the part that I did early on here. So we just blend that in. They're really, really good, these. But just offsets it, just the different colours of it, like, you know. And I'm no expert by any means, but I'm sure people will say, oh, you're not supposed to have dark and lights together and all that sort of stuff, but it's your layout, you do what you want. Cool, there we go. Like I said, you just a few extra bits and pieces here and everywhere. And already it's starting to come together a little bit better. Yeah, I'll have to try and find out some decent finishing spray. But I mean, I'm quite lucky where nothing really sort of gets interfered with that sort of area, so I can afford a little bit of time to sort of try and find the right stuff. But hopefully, go from there. And then I haven't got any more of these, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something slightly different now using what have we got here? bit of this stuff. It's not horsehair, I think they call it. It's just wound stuff, yeah. I'm going to use a bit of that just to eliminate a bit of a vine, bush, prickly type stuff. And all you do is you just rip it up, screw it into a ball. I need my little tray. Where's that? There it is. There's a little tray of glue. So what I'm going to do best in here is screw this up and then mix it in with the glue. And then move that to the side. Got my lid. This is where I start making some weird stuff. Where is it? I'm using now is Jarvis scatter. You can see that. There's a little label there if anyone's interested. And I'm basically just going to sprinkle this all over. Okay, just soak it up as many of the bits as I can. I'm just going to see now where I can put this. It's quite thick. I'm just going to flatten it out a bit. And the good thing with this stuff is you can trim it down to whatever you want. And I'll just turn that to that side. Just push that into there. Well, and there we go. We'll just let that set now. A bit different perspective, maybe. There we go. Yeah, pretty mate. Yeah, small bramble bush. Very similar to what I did with the scenes over there on the hill. And then basically I set it so it's looking directly onto it. It don't look too bad. So it's just a quick and easy way of adding a bit of brush to your layout, whether it be bramble or whatever. Just going to put a little bit of glue on there just to sort of try and retain it. Bit of glue on the back of this fence just to hold it in place. And just do a little bit down here just to anchor it. Looks a bit messy, but once this dries, you won't be able to see it. And it just look like a normal hedge or bramble. And there we go. Dead easy. Takes seconds to make. How is that? Yeah. So I'll do a few more. I'll probably do one more. What I'll do is I'll move this to this side so it doesn't get in the way. I'll put some on this edge here. Do a large bit on here, I think. All right, so goes the next one. So we can get this one in. I've let this one soak quite a bit, so this should, in theory, take a little bit longer to try and get it to overhang. Just push that in. And the good thing about this is you can actually just trim it as well. So if it is in your face sort of thing or hanging over too much, you can just trim it back. I tend to use a bit of wood just to push it against the plastic. At this stage, it doesn't really make a difference whether it's neat or not. So I don't think I'll bring that down to this side. I don't like that there. Let's bring it. That's it. That's better. So it overhangs a bit at the moment. I'm just going to let that do its thing, and then I can just, if I need to, I can just cut it. Guys, there we go. Just needs something now just to push against it, just to Took it a little bit off the track. You guys use. Right, there we go. So just give it a bit of support, pushing it into the edges. And if I had another piece of wood, I can just push that bit in as well. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that'll do it. Just push that in there. Dab a little bit of PVA, and that should take and hold that in place. Yeah, definitely. It will get trimmed, but once it's stable there, I think, because these tracks are quite close, so we'll just trim it back ever so slightly, let it go roughly. I think I'll leave that there and the end there. Obviously, this little bit here, just give it a bit of a trim, and just sort of hopefully then gives that impression that it's just crawled up against that fence. It's by no means the correct way. It's just how I like to do it. Everyone's got their own style, so just experiment. That's probably the main thing to do. Just experiment. There's plenty of YouTube channels out there that does all this weathering and scenery detail, and I can't fault them. I've watched them enough times for me to try and take my tips from and just apply to my own layouts. So that's the whole idea, isn't it? Share what you know, pass it on, and then adapt it. All we need to do. And that, I think, for now, hello, Signal Cabin, how are you? Apologies if I've not looked at the chat for a while, guys. Just been trying to get on with stuff. Oh, shit. Spillage. Gravel scatter. I don't actually know. Where did I use that? Ah, yeah. Right. So that's that little bit done. So hopefully by next week, I can start painting this area up, put a little bit of base coat on it, and then we can go from there, really. this bag closed. Okay. Just get the camera angle a little better. There we go. Actually, not too bad. It's sort of landing in right. I wish I had a few more of these, to be fair. Put them in there, but I haven't. Okay. So thanks for that then. I'll let that cure now. Let it get on. It's going to take a good couple of days to sort itself out. And then hopefully next Sunday do a little bit more. So I think for now, call it a day. But yeah, thanks very much for coming in, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all again next Sunday. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was doing, Andy. Just to give it, even though the main line's still in use, just giving this a bit more of a neglected over the week sort of thing. When I start adding more things into it, we'll get a bit more neglected look. Okay, Jake, thanks very much. Vincent, not a problem. Not a problem. I said this. Right, guys, catch up with you later. Bye for now.